so welcome back to Adventure 82. Slightly different video to what we're used to because I'm not doing history or actually anything about Jersey as such. What I'm actually doing is showing you what it's like to move to the UK. So we decided in probably about September, October last year that we were going to move from Jersey to the UK because as much as I love this island, I've been through this in other videos far more in depth, so if you want to go back and find those, they're there. It's just too expensive for us to live here. There's more help for our kids who are autistic over there. And there's more chances of having a decent quality of life over there, essentially, than there is here. Because the way the island works is the states are only bothered about the rich people who can give them more money. So with that said, what we're first going to do is I'll show you the state this house is in and we'll go from there. So this is what we're living in at the moment. It's all boxes everywhere, literally everywhere, just boxes. Not just here. Downstairs, our lounge looks like a warehouse. It's like, must be about 60 to 70 boxes piled up at the back of our lounge waiting to go. Now, some of you may say, well, if you're not moving, which I've mentioned before, until the beginning of June, why have you packed already? Well, there's a reason for that, and it's to do with what's required to go into the UK from Jersey. So hang on a minute, let me put this down and I'll explain. So I have a little stand on the back of this, which is supposed to be helpful. Let's see if it is. Kinda. There we go. See, it's not as helpful as you'd think, is it? Right, so the way it works is to move from Jersey to the UK, you have to be, first of all, you have to be residentially qualified to live in the UK to start with. The way that you find out if you're residentially qualified is different depending on your circumstances. But for us, if you were born in what they class as a common travel area, so if you were born in any of the Channel Islands or the Isle of Man before December the 31st, 1982, pardon me, then you're automatically classed as a British citizen with right to abode, so you're allowed to live there. You have the same rights as somebody who'd been born on the mainland. After that time, you don't automatically get those rights like you did then. So I was born 21st November 1982, so I automatically was born with those rights. Even if I hadn't have been born with those rights, I still would have been allowed to move to the UK because my grandmother was English, and so was my father. So that gives me the right to live there as well. As far as if you don't have any of those things, there are other ways to go about getting the right to live there. There is a website called, I think it's called UK Expats on Google for people who haven't got the specific rights to live there, and tells you how you can go about moving there. So if you don't have those rights, go and have a look on there and that'll tell you. But providing you've got those rights, what you then have to do is you have to, well, in our case, choose a removal company. You have to pack up your stuff, and then before you can move over there, you have to fill in what the customs or HMRC call a TOR1 form, which is a form that proves where you were living, that you were living in a place that allows you to move to the UK. You have to prove you have the right to live there, which in my case would be on my passport. You have to give them the address you're moving to, which causes its own problems, which I'll explain after. And you have to make an inventory of everything you're bringing with you, because the purpose of this TOR1 form is it stops you from having to pay duty or VAT on your stuff you're taking with you, as if so you don't have to pay that, like you would do if you'd have literally gone and bought the stuff from a shop and then brought it over to the UK, because that's not what you're doing. So that's what that's for. You put everything from what you've boxed and you're taking from your house on there. You can also put your car on there as well. You have to pay VAT and duty on that. You have to make this list yourself. We've made it like a spreadsheet kind of Excel thing, where you have to list what you have, what things you have, how many there are. So like CDs, estimate, say, I don't know, 40 approximately CDs, for instance, if you've got that. Towels, say like 2 boxes of towels, that kind of thing. And you have to put the value for each thing down. Once you've done that, you can send the form off, and they send you a piece of paper which gives you permission to bring your stuff into the country, into the UK, which you have to give, in our case, to the removal company. And then the removal company use that when they go over to the UK to show that they have permission to bring our stuff in. The removal company also make their own invoice, which is VAT, etc. based, which is what they use to get your stuff through customs, because customs obviously want values and stuff. Even the TLR1 form is a different part of customs, so it gets complicated. If you want any clarification on any of these little bits, you want me to do other videos to clarify bits, then do let me know, because I can do more in depth if you want me to. Getting your own address is the interesting bit, because you can't, unless you're originally from the mainland UK, that would be Scotland, England and Wales. It doesn't count for Northern Ireland. You can't organise somewhere to either, in our case, rent, without going through some hoops. So because we've never actually lived in the mainland before, what we have to do is we have to go over there separately before we move, just me and Erica on our own. We have to show the estate agents that we're choosing to use, our passports and stuff to prove that we have the right to live there, because they have a duty to check that you have a right to live there before they help you find anywhere to live. And then whilst we're over there, we're going to be looking at houses to choose one that we can live in. Now the problem comes whereby normally when you're doing this is another process that you may want me to go more in depth on. So if, like I say, if you want to do an extra video on just the estate agents bit and explain it a bit more thoroughly, I can do. But the long and short of it is that they expect you to be working normally, which if you're in the Channel Islands, you can't apply to work in the UK from here, because they expect you to have a national insurance number, and they also expect you to have a UK address. So you can't get work with that UK address, and and you end up in the loop where you can't get a UK address without a job. So what you end up having to do is you end up having to do like we're doing, whereby you find a house that you're happy with, which is what we're going to be doing, and then you have to pay, providing the landlord's okay with it, 6 months rent in advance, which gives you then that time to find work, etc. And then once you've got work, and you've got a regular income, you can then go back to the estate agent, prove your income is enough for you to be able to pay the rent for the house, pardon me, and then you'll be able to go to paying your rent monthly as you would normally do. That's how that works. So that's that bit. And then once you're over there, it's up to you then to sort out things like electric company, because they don't do that, so you have to do a meter reading yourself. You have to sort out your phone, obviously. Some places sort out water, some people don't. It depends on the landlord. So you have to check exactly what the landlord supplies, and it's just like some kitchens come with like integrated washing machines, fridges, dishwashers, whatever, so you don't need to take them with you. Others don't, so you will need to take that with you. So it's all down to what house you've chosen and what it has, what it doesn't have, affects what you're going to do. But the problem lies in the fact that the reason we've packed so early, which is how I've explained all this to you now, is that you can't formally book moving from Jersey to England until you have the English address, because the company, the removal company that you're using, whether it's the same as ours or a different one, need to know the UK address that they're going to be able to judge the distance they're taking your stuff, to know how much to charge you. So when they give you a quote, it's a rough estimate. So like our quote, for instance, from the company we've chosen was £6,800 to move. I think it said stuff that fits into no more than 1,400 square feet, which I think is about a shipping container roughly. So that's how that works. And then once you've got your address in the UK nailed down, and you can give that to your removal company, then you can formally book your moving date, and then you can start organising everything else in Jersey, which you can't do without that date. So once you've got that date, then what we need to do is we have to fill in a form to tell the states we're leaving. We have to fill in a form to tell Andean we're leaving their house, which is a whole new thing if you're living in an Andean house. The standards they want you to leave the house in seem quite high. That's caused me a lot of stress and anxiety, because I'm worried that I'm going to get some kind of hidden bill from Andean because they'll find something wrong with the house that no normal person would pick up. And it's not an unfounded worry, because it's happened to me before they were called Andean, when they were still called the housing department. And we have to tell JTs to turn the phone company, or to turn the telephone off. We have to tell JECs to turn the electricity off. All these things have to be turned off. In our case, we're not taking our beds with us because they were wrecked. We're not taking our three-piece suite with us because that's ruined as well. Not because it's ruined, but because it's not good enough condition to ship, but it is good enough condition to donate, which is probably what we're going to do with it. But all those things I have to get rid of before Andean will take their house back, obviously. So I have to do that round about the same time. The removal men are taking boxes out, so it's going to be fun. And then once this house is empty, then what we have to do, because we've got a dog, none of the planes in Jersey fly to the UK, or have that fly to the UK, will actually take a dog, or any kind of pet for that matter, on board, whether it's in the hold or otherwise. So if you're taking a pet with you to the UK, you have no choice but to go by boat, which is what we're having to do. And then we've got to drive from Portsmouth, where the boat gets in from Portsmouth, up to Huddersfield, where we're moving to. Obviously the drive from Portsmouth is going to vary greatly if you're moving to the UK, depending where you're going. If you're moving to Portsmouth, you're already there, so you know. But that's how that works. So there's lots of things to put into place. But the reason we've packed everything is because of this inventory thing, because I have to know how many boxes, what's in each box, how many of each thing there is, and the only way to do that is to pack it. So yeah, we're living in what amounts to a warehouse. I mean, like we're like I say, we've got rid of the beds because we're trying to get rid of the rubbish as well, because I can't do everything at once and we don't have anyone to help with all this. So all of us, including the kids at the moment, are sleeping on mattresses that are on the floor. And that will be that way until probably the first week of June is when we're hoping to move, but that's going to depend on if we can find a house when we first go over in March. I'm hoping we can. I'll give you an update on that. But that's the long and short of it. A lot of it relies on having that UK address that you have to be able to nail down. I can do more in depth on certain subjects if you want me to, so if you do want me to, leave a comment in below and I will do that for you. But that's the basics of moving from Jersey to the UK. If you find this helpful, do let me know. If you find history and adventure quite interesting, which is what I've been doing in Jersey for the last couple of years, and I'm hoping to continue to do, well, I will continue to do if I'm honest. Once I'm in Huddersfield in Yorkshire, then do subscribe down below. But otherwise, I know I've promised this video for a while to you guys, so I thought I'd better do it. And hopefully the weather will improve in the island, and I can go and I can give you some more standard videos towards the what the channel's normally like. Um, and I'll see you in the next one, wherever that may be. Until then, take care. Have a nice weekend, guys.